Hi, my name is Jared Hollingworth. I'm a contributing developer of tiOPF, the open source object persistence framework for Delphi and Free Pascal. In this video demonstration, I'll show you how to use the Model GUI Mediator features in tiOPF to quickly build a user interface for a simple order editing system. I'll start by creating a VCL Forms application. Now, I've already defined three classes to represent an order, a line item, and a product, as well as a line item list and a product list. So I'm going to add those units to this project. They're found on this T drive, and I'll save the project as form main for the form unit and order editing system as the name of the project. To use the Model GUI Mediator features, we need to add the tiOPF directories to our project search path. I'll do this in the base configuration. And there are four directories that we need to add. The core, options, GUI and GUI VCL paths. I've set up a tiOPF environment variable which points to the root, which makes it easy to define these. We'll now take a look at our order class. torder descends from TTI object. This is a requirement for using the mediator framework. The class has a couple of properties. It has an order number and an order date, which use a property setter, and it also has a list of line items. It has an initializing constructor, and it overrides the isValid method. Taking a look at the implementation, it's very straightforward. Here's our initializing constructor that sets our property values. The isValid function essentially tests that the order number is greater than 0. And we have our two property setters, and we'll have a look a bit more at how that works a bit later in this demonstration. Similarly, our line item class is quite simple. It has a single property which is a reference to a product, and we have a list of line items defined which is used in our order class. Our product class simply has a product name, and we have a list of products that will be used to reference products from our line items. I'll now start designing the user interface for this system. We'll start off just with some of the basic property settings. We'll give the form a caption and a name. Change its position to be in the center of the screen, and set a reasonable width and height. Now the form will have three sections. One for the order details, one for a list of line items in the order, and one for the selected line item so that it can be edited. So we'll start off by sectioning off these three parts. So we have our order details, our line items, and our selected line item. In order details, we display the order number, and we'll use an edit box to display that. We also display the order date, and we'll use a date time picker. I'll give these controls a meaningful name because we'll be selecting that in the IDE in a moment. So order number and our order date. In the line items section, we will display our line items in a string grid, and we'll give that a useful name as well. And for our selected line item, we'll display the product that has been selected in that line item. So let's name this product, and we'll use a combo box as a drop-down list of products. I want to add a couple of other features that will demonstrate some of the mediator functionality. So we'll drop a button down here, and that's going to get the next order number. We'll also add a button that will allow us to add more line items. And for debugging purposes, I'm going to add a button that will show the contents of our order object. Now the form is going to work with order, line item and product objects. In a real-world application, you'd typically retrieve these from a database, but in this demonstration I'll simply create a few instances directly to work with. I'll create these in the forms onCreate event handler and free them in onDestroy. We add the units to our users clause. Use some private field variables. Create these in onCreate. Now our order has an initializing constructor, so we can set some property values at construction time. And we'll free these in onDestroy. And I'll create a few product and line item instances. Create 3 products, widget A, B and C. And we'll create 2 line items, one for the first product and one for the second product. In the second part of this demonstration, we'll complete the initial coding and then use the Model GUI Mediator framework to connect our objects to the user interface.